Guys, thanks for joining us. John, Isaac, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us at this afternoon's press conference. Gaffer, we'll start with you. It's another long trip at the weekend after the Tuesday midweek off. What's everybody feeling heading into that one?
Trying to shake Saturday out of our system. But I kept trying to tell people about Hartlepool. You know, we don't underestimate teams. They go and beat Tranmere on Tuesday. So, yeah, well, listen, we're always prepared, mate. We'll always give it our best and we'll always be ready for it.
We know what Salford are all about. You know, they're a team that wants to fly up the leagues. They spend a lot. They've spent a lot in January. But I suppose it's more just a case of with teams like that, and I'm sure you're drilling this into the players, just focusing on our own game and focusing on our strengths, and I'm sure we'll be all right on the day.
I think you're being detrimental to Salford there, to be honest with you. They're a good footballing. They've got good football people behind them. They've got a good manager there behind them who knows his football. You know, just to dismiss it that they're spending money, they're working hard trying to get out of the leagues. And they deserve to get out of the leagues if they do so, because you've got the money, it doesn't mean they automatically buy success. So I wouldn't look at it like that as a flippant, just a trip going up there as though, you know, we're going up there to do nothing. We're going up there to win the game as much as they're trying to win the game. And it doesn't matter how much money you spend, believe it or not, I don't care whether we're playing the 7th Crawley Scouts out there, the lads, we set out to win.
Yeah, and I suppose sort of reiterating your point there. Obviously, they've got good footballing people up there. While they are spending the money, we can't necessarily look too deep into that. As you said earlier on, Hartlepool, people may have criticised us saying that that's a game we should be winning, but as you said, they then go and beat Tranmere on Tuesday night. There aren't really any easy games in this league, are there?
No, I've said that all along. You know, I've been saying that since the last 2.5 years. And if there was easy games in this league, you know what, the teams wouldn't be in this league. And you don't want easy games. What is an easy game? You know, it's beyond me. Because people look at us the way that, 1 minute, we've lost 1 game in 5 while we're on this subject. We've lost 1 game in 5. And I was bitterly disappointed with the reaction of some of the supporters Saturday. I know that I'm half a fruitcake. I know that I go a little bit mad. But that's my job. I get judged on what we do out there. I don't think some of the supporters take great pleasure in turning up just to abuse the team. And it's getting a little bit personal when they're at the ground. You know, everybody can I'm not bothered about them criticising the team, but it hurts. And it hurt me Saturday to think that we're all what we've been through and what we've been in the last 2.5 years, that you get some people that just want to blatantly stand there and swear and really give you a little bit. Well, don't do that, because if you spoke to people like that in the street, you know what would happen, and you'd be rolling on the floor with them. So don't come here thinking that it's your God-given right to abuse people. Criticise the team, criticise everything else, all for that. But there's ways and means, and because it got to me such a stage this week where I was really considering what to do, to be honest with you. Because I ain't here to stand here, Lee ain't here, the players ain't here for people just to abuse them. I don't know, people seem to think now you come to the ground and we're all like baiting the bear. You know, don't do it. Have a moan up. Yeah, all well and good. But listen, we're all together here. You ask the people that come to the away games. You know, but don't start don't think that your kindness is your weakness. Let's make sure that we're all in it together. We need everybody behind us, especially when you're 1-0 down and we've got games to go up. So say to you, 1 loss in 5. You know, some people you better count your blessings, because good times. You know that we've had enough of them here. You know, we're still halfway up the league, and I don't know what more you got to please people. But all I'm asking for is everybody stick together. You don't need that.
Salford are running a good ticket offer. It's only £5 per ticket, so we are expecting a decent crowd up there. And I suppose the message after Saturday is just sort of really get behind the lads, and they will always, as you say, try and give their 100% and try and give you the result to cheer for.
No, it's not that at all. It's not that at all. You're not listening to what I'm saying to you. Every time we go out on that pitch, we will give, and we won't try, we will give 100%. The fans as well, we win for the fans. The fans are there to help us win. We've got to give the fans something to cheer about. So if they have a bad day at work, this is like us having a bad day at work. But the whole club, let's get behind everything that's going on, rather than sit there moaning and groaning when we're mid-table. Let's help us push up the league. If people don't accept that at the end of the season on I think it's the second lowest budget in the league, and about what we're doing, all through the season, it just beggars belief sometimes that you're getting people. I don't know what some people's ambitions are. Everybody wants to go higher, Me more than anyone. But let's deal with the hands you got at a time, eh? And let's just back the team.
Talking about backing the team, the new players have been given a lot of praise recently. Obviously, Isaac sitting next to you's, had a healthy amount of minutes since joining the club in January. How impressed have you been with him so far?
No, not impressed with him because I know he can do it. And I don't bring him in, and that's not a criticism, by the way. It's not impressed because impressing to me is something when you learn something new about. I'm learning something new about him every day in training as much as he is with us. So let's as a team game. So everybody, he'll be the first to tell you that in a minute when I allow him to talk, when he gets a word in. But listen, it's Crawley Town Football Club. We're attracting good players. He'll tell you why he's here. We're attracting good players. We want to keep them. We want to make them feel part of the football club. Yes, I didn't lose my temper. I lost my rag on Saturday with a couple of things. But that's because maybe I'm more... It seems sometimes I want to win more than other people want to win. And that's what the frustrating part. Because I know what the boys can do. I know what they're capable of. I know what we should be doing. And it's my job to make sure we do it.
Cool. Isaac, we'll move on to you. Obviously, joining the club in January, you've played a healthy amount of minutes so far. How have you enjoyed your time with Crawley at the moment?
Yeah, no, I've loved it. I mean, since the first day I come training, all the lads welcome me in like I was one of the players already, and I've just been happy to get on the pitch and give everything to win.
Let me just stop you there as well. Once again, Isaac had been in the club before we signed him. He's trained with us, so we knew what he was about, and I knew what he was about. I knew what he was about anyway. So don't think we just get players walking in the door. They've got to be better than what we got. It's no good them being on par with it. He's got to be better, and he's got the potential to do whatever he wants to do with his football world. Sorry to interrupt you there, Isaac.
Right.
Off you go, mate.
Yeah, no, honestly, I've loved it.
Yeah, you seem to be playing really well at the moment, and I'm sure you're delighted with the amount of minutes you've got, having only come in January.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised to get the amount of minutes straight off the bat, but obviously when I did, I was just looking to grasp my opportunity and help the team in any way I could. So, yeah, no, being on the pitch and helping the boys in front of the fans as well has been brilliant.
How have you found it working with the Gaffer and the rest of your teammates so far?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been something I'm not used to. It's been a different experience for me, off the back of previous managers and previous players, and it's just been embracing it already. It's been really enjoyable.
He enjoys it. He enjoys it so much. He even sent me a Valentine's card. I've got questions to ask him about that.
Yeah, no, there weren't any flowers, so
That's it.
Yeah, we ask this to a lot of the players that we get for the press conferences, especially the new players. But obviously, the team sort of share a shared ambition for the season. But what do you personally think the team can achieve for the rest of the season?
I think we can do whatever we want, really. I think obviously every player wants to get promoted or get as high in the league as possible, and with the squad of players we have, there's no ceiling to what we can do. So I think week by week we're just going to give everything we can and see where it gets us. But I think there's no ceiling to what this team can do.
It would help. It would be nice as well, as I keep repeating myself, if we had a fit squad to pick from. Since we've been here this year, and I think even Isaac's seen it since he's been here, there's players that you wish was out there and you hope that they're out there. But you've got to deal, and it's a compliment to the lads that keep stepping in. As I said to you, we haven't got a big squad. And it's a compliment to the boys that are stepping up to the plate, and we're attracting players like Isaac's quality, to be honest with you.
Cameron, if you want to go.
Yeah, brilliant. Back on the road after the loss on the weekend, why do you think there's been a difference in that home and away form this season?
Simple, me, wouldn't me?
Yes. Sorry.
Simple answer to that. If I knew that, I'd change it. And I can't answer you. We prepare the same, we get ready the same. You always forget though there's oppositions. We went all last year, I think we went 9 months or something without losing at home. And you're forgetting that other teams set up to do a job on us as well. And that's no excuses, because we've got to improve, because if we don't, it could cost us again. But we'll work through it. It's nothing that you're going to go and hang yourself about, because there's nothing that we know can't be put right on the football pitch. The lads have just got to step in a little bit more, and really that's where we need the fans. We don't need them having a pop at people. We need them behind us all the time. I don't expect them to all walk around singing, juggling balls and being Coco the Clown if you just lost, because I'm the world's worst. But we need them. That's when you need fans.
Yeah, you've had a week off to prepare for this game coming. Has that week been a good week, or did you want to just get straight back into it on Tuesday?
Well, we haven't had a week off. The players haven't had a week off. So, no, it's just straight on the training pitch. We've been working on a few things, hopefully, to pop right. Working on a few things for Salford, because obviously, once again, different opposition. And, no, well, Isaac can tell you, I think the lads are enjoying it. And I think they're all behind everything we're doing, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely.
You ain't heard no rumours, have you?
No, everyone's loving it.
Yeah. So Salford on the weekend, they're within touching distance almost. And how does that reflect on Crawley this season?
Touching distance of us
In the league, yeah. Well, you're nearly within
I
touching
don't
distance
look.
of them in the
Trust
league.
me, I don't look, because you can only. There's two ways you look at it. You either beat yourself up and get envious of the people that are spending money, or you look inside our dressing room and you see our fans that are travelling away and travelling at home. They're the ones we're playing for. We want to be the best we can be for them, because if you start setting yourself silly targets, I keep hearing this about money. Yeah, it does help, but you've still got to spend it right. And we've got a unity in the squad and people that are coming and playing and enjoy playing that you can't put a price on. So, no, Salford are where they are, and it'll be a tough game. It's always a tough game. I don't expect anything else from them. They're football people. The fans are football people up there. It's difficult to understand them sometimes, but then they don't speak the Queen's English like what we do.
Yeah. You described some of the players' performances as unacceptable on the weekend. Are you expecting wholesale changes to the team, or?
I would like to make. No, it's a nutshell, because we haven't got people to replace in. It's not me saying it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable to the extent of I know they can do better, and they've got to do better. And if we don't do better, the big C word in football is called consistency. And when I've been lucky enough to be associated with other teams that have won promotions and have been round things, it's that C word. You're consistent in your training, you're consistent in the matches, you're consistently doing it, you're consistently helping each other. And at the minute, we just lack a little bit of that. But the quality's got to improve, and the lads are the first to tell you, but we're still getting players coming back from injury and COVID. And God knows, nobody knows in the country how it's affected people. But we ain't got time to worry about that. We've only got 2 months, and we'll all be on a beach somewhere, hopefully. Or 3 months, I think. If things don't improve, I might be there a bit quicker.
Just finally, you were talking about the injury problems. Obviously, James Teddy took a nasty blow on the weekend, and Jack Payne from the tackle. How have they been recovering this week?
Yeah, Tilly's obviously, I think it's 19 days before he can train. Jack's been limping around, and I might have been on about that tackle, because obviously I can't say too much because I got myself in trouble, but that was one of the worst. If people haven't seen it, go on the YouTube or go wherever you want and have a look at that tackle in slow motion, and tell me if that wasn't one of the worst tackles you've ever seen. And I'm not going OTT on that. I've come through the 70s and the 80s when it was, if you've done that in the 70s, you get an extra year on your contract for tackling like that. Whereas that could have finished Jack's career off. I'm not saying the geezer intended to do it, but he scores a winning goal, and you're thinking it's going to be one of those days today, because the lads are out there. They hope that whoever's I'm going to be controversial here. You just like the lads to be protected on the pitch.
Yeah, thank you, John. Isaac, John mentioned about the unity in the team being as good as it can get. Have you found that when you've joined as well?
Yeah, 100%. I haven't felt like a slight bit of any negativity towards anyone, like from the players towards each other. Everyone's gets on well, and it shows on the pitch. I think everyone's willing to fight for each other and help the team. Like there's no negativity, there's no nothing really. Everyone wants to help and everyone wants to fight for their mate.
Yeah, as a local lad, obviously growing up nearby, how's it been returning to play football here?
Yeah, it's been nice. It's been obviously nice to be back down south, close to family, and a bit warmer down here as well. So it's been nice, and obviously it's a good club and a club that I've obviously known about for growing up and everything like that. So I'm happy.
You spoke about the team targets. Have you got any personal targets for the rest of the season?
No, my targets are to help the team as much as possible, climb the table and get as high as possible. And if we do that, I'll be happy.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you.
He's also trying to win a contract here, isn't he?
Yeah.
Tim?
Thank you, Sam. Hi, guys. John, if I could start with you. You mentioned about the fans, and you're perhaps a bit disappointed with the way they behaved at home, or you mentioned. But I just wonder whether there's actually a positive problem with Crawley, is that 7 years now in League Two, which is actually, for a former non-league club, is some achievement, isn't it? It's like sometimes you're sniffing towards the playoffs and so on, but I wonder whether they get frustrated when actually how well the club are doing, you're punching above your weight season after season with the second smallest budget and so on. But you can see how the fans might sort of forget that, really, because the way you play so well sometimes.
Well, I think it's being led by people on Radio Sussex who don't do their own work, Tim, because I think it's about 12 years they've been in the league. It's not 7.
I meant back down in League Two. Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Yes.
I didn't want to use the word stuck in League Two because you're not. That's the point I'm making. Some fans might feel, where are we going? We're not going up, we're not going down. But actually,
Listen,
I want you to say that's an achievement.
It's not all the fans. Don't get me wrong. 99% of this crowd are behind the team. And the other 1% do, you get them everywhere. It's not me out berating anybody or doing what you got to do, but just get behind the team. But don't think that we're turning up just to get abused and people swearing at you and all these sorts of things, because we don't stand that. Simple as. And if you don't realise that you are a professional football club, since the new owners have been in here, I keep hearing it was the highest we finished last year. You sold a player for £1 million. You had the best cup run, best result in the club's history, beating Leeds. You had a cup run. We're still halfway now with loads of games to go. And some of these people, you just got to be careful what you wish for sometimes. And all I'm saying, you're being a local fella as well, just don't turn up to slag people, because it's not funny and it doesn't help anybody. Of course you get the I keep saying it, I'm the world's worst. I've got to go and pay fines now, berating people and sticking up for my players and sticking up for the crowd as well, by the way. And, we're all in it together. It ain't like there's 60,000 of you. You must probably go around each other's house and have a barbecue. Everybody knows each other. But, let's stick together.
Is there a sense that, they've taken the fact that you are an established league club, perhaps for granted? So, some of the fans, that they forget how hard it is for you and the squad to keep your head above water, with very low budgets and so on.
I think sometimes you've got to manage other people's expectations. And the thing being with it is in my opinion, there's a lot of people that weren't around when Crawley were a non-league club. You've got a little generation growing up there. That year when I was here before, when we was 10 points deducted, going to be out of business, going to do this, going to do that. That seems millenniums ago, and we stayed up. So I know the spirit that's within the place and within everybody else. Let's keep that spirit going, We all want to do well. I'm never, ever going to say that we ain't aiming for this or aiming for that. But let's get real. Let's all stick together. Let's be real people and real men about it, not spoiled people who perceive to think that, it's our God-given gift to win every game. It's not. There's an opposition out there.
And Salford might do it slightly differently to you at times, certainly in terms of finances, but as two clubs who've come up, stayed up, you must have huge respect for the fact they're doing it like you're having to do it day in, day out. It's still a hard job, isn't it?
Yeah, listen, whether you're at the top or you're at the bottom, whether you're at Man United or whether you're here, you get the same problems. Everybody wants to win. I was to tell you, he's been at Derby County. It's the same problems. Look at the problems they've had. Doesn't matter what level you are. It's how you approach the problems. And if you let them problems get on top of you, you know what? You might as well just go and put your head in the oven. Because everybody wants to win. Everybody can do my job better. Everybody can do Isaac's job better when you're playing out there. We're judged by that. It's sometimes that the people that are, I'm going to be controversial again, sometimes you'd like a bit more help from people that are supposed to be in charge of these games. And the fans that we've got, I think they should know by now, yes, they might think I'm a big mouth, yes, they might think this, I probably am. Right, I'll hold my hands up to that one, yes. But I also like to think that I'm doing it for the right reason. I don't do it for show. Trust me, I wish I could sometimes, because then I'd shut up. Because I'd just become as stupid as some of the fans that are shouting at some of their things. We're here to win. I keep saying it. We're here to win. So don't think we're the only club with problems and we're the only club trying to solve them. You've got a great little fan base here, and let's hope that we all take it forward together.
Isaac, how much was the Derby experience being at a club with issues there? That must really help your development, and having to really stand up and be counted in a difficult time.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's something you'd never expect to have to deal with, of course, and the same for everyone at the club. Would never dream of having to deal with that sort of thing. But I think when you do and when you're in it, it's pulled all the players together and the club as a whole. Everyone's together and on the same page, and you see the sort of spirit and stuff around the ground, the training ground, and you can't fault it at all, really. But yeah, of course, it adds to your experience massively, because it's just something that not many people have to go through.
And would you say your target is looking for a full-time contract at a club here like Crawley, do you think, going forward? Or what do you think your short to mid-term aims are?
Yeah, of course. I mean, at the moment, I'm here. I'm a Crawley player, and I'm devoted to helping the team win as many matches as possible and get as high up the table as possible. And at the end of the season, of course, I'd be happy to take a contract, you know what I mean? And as well as I'm doing and doing well, I'd be happy with that.
I think people have got to realise as well, and let's get back on the reality here. We've stuck players out there that I know could be sold at any minute. So if Isaac suddenly sits there and gets an offer to go to wherever he gets to go to, higher up the league, I ain't stupid enough to think that players are going to turn that down and the club are going to turn money down. We are there to do that. I've been doing that most of my life. You're helping people get through, and that's part of your job. That's the reward of being a coach or a manager, to see some of the players that you've had a little bit of an influence with, or a lot of an influence, go on and do better. When you start getting players and people turn on you, is when you think it's all about you, because without you, I'm going to stop him going here. Listen, they're working their nuts off for the club, so the club have got to back what they do, and we'd like to move on together. Max, prime example. You see, pick the telly up. I nearly picked the telly. But you see Max on the telly the other day. There he is running around to Cardiff, and you're thinking, well, Max was out of work when we got him in here. And he's the first person on the phone. If you phoned up Max now, he'd be down here at a shop to come and help out with charity things or whatever you got to do. Rather than turn around and go, well, I'm not going back there. They wouldn't help me move. They didn't do this. I try and help players most of the time. I think Isaac will tell you that. Some of the phone calls and that we've had to do. I'm not one of these that sits in the office and goes, nothing to do with me. Because if you don't do it here, there's no one else to do it. And that's my strength, I'd like to think. You talk to people, you listen, and then you help them. If you can't help them, you tell them the truth and say there's nothing here or whatever you got to do. But let's get back to reality. This club can go one way, and that could be forward. If we're not careful and people start getting disillusioned with it, you know what? Everybody gets disillusioned. You've got to be so careful what you wish for. You've got too much going for you.
Isaac, how have you found the adjustment arriving at Crawley, and suddenly getting game time in League Two? I know it is a division you've known before, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean, I've had a bit of experience in it before, and
beat us, didn't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
No, it's been good. Honestly, I've been happy to just get on the pitch and play. To be honest, I've got a lot of people to prove wrong, and obviously, like I say, I want to help the team. I've been here for 2 weeks now, I think, and all the players, all the staff have been quality with me, and it just makes me more determined to repay their faith in me and to do my bit on the pitch.
And how much more to come from you? I mean, do you feel there's a lot more to tell the fans? They haven't seen the best of you yet.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot more to come. I think
it wants to be. We're all in trouble.
Yeah, there's there's a lot of things that I can still improve and can still show on the pitch. So yeah, I'm excited to be able to do that and get the opportunity to do that.
This is what I said to you earlier, Tim. Every player that come here, we know we got to improve them. Everybody's got a story. Our team, as I said to you the other week, it's like the Dirty Dozen. Everyone's got a story. Everyone's got something to prove. Everybody's got to prove, or to themselves or to their family, second chances. I'm the advocate of that, if that makes sense. I've been doing it most of my life and still doing it to certain people. You know what? Enjoy every minute of it, every day of it, because you're out earning your living playing football, or you're at a football club. And you never know, you just never know who's watching you in games. So make sure, big consistency, again, the big C word. And that goes for our fans and everything. You know, you don't want us to start thinking people are, throwing coins on the pitch and things like that. Nothing to do with me, but I don't mind if it was pound notes or tenors or scores or something. Come and throw them at me all day long. But, we don't want to be like that, because you're better than that and you're more intelligent than that. No need to do that. We hurt teams, and we've hurt teams this year, by beating them. And long may that continue.
Isaac, you a local lad, born in Sussex. So how important was it to you to come back to the county? Perhaps does that help a little bit in again settling in, adjusting quickly?
Yeah, it does. I think, to be honest with you, for me, like location and that isn't a big problem for me, to be honest. Obviously, I've been up in Derby and I've been to Southend, and I think obviously being around your family and that always makes it easier to settle in, because you're living at home or whatever. But to be honest, it's all about just getting the opportunity to play football, and you can do that wherever you are in the country.
And John was saying last week he's done it. Lee Bradbury as well has made a career out of finding players where it hasn't quite worked and giving them a second chance. Is that how you feel? Is that where you feel you fit in here?
Yeah. I mean, I think I've had a decent career so far. I've got a decent amount of games, and I think obviously there's always ups and downs. But at the moment, I'm just looking for regular games and to be able to be part of something. Everyone wants to achieve something here, and that's an important thing in a team. So I'm looking forward to be part of that.
Tim, don't underestimate Isaac, by the way. If it wasn't for the misfortune that Derby are going through at the minute, he could still be up there playing in their first team possibly. So let's think he's come down here like weeping willow. He hasn't. We was lucky to get him, because there was other clubs banging on his door. And I'm pleased that he has come, and I think he will be pleased as well eventually. So let's get behind everybody. I keep saying it, and that's my thing now. Let's get behind it. We've got 16, 17 games to go. Let's get everybody behind the team. Let's get everybody supporting the team. And who knows where that takes you.
Well, no, you're spot on, John. That's sort of the point I was trying to make, Isaac, is that the man to your right and Lee have got a reputation for doing this for players like yourselves. They've done it before, they'll do it again. Yeah,
no, I'm excited to work under both of them, and I know that they can improve me. It's a big part of obviously coming here, and to have their faith put in me, I just want to repay that.
Finally, if I may, can I just ask you next week, if selected, of course, Forest Green Rovers. So the side you know very well indeed. That'd be an interesting one, wouldn't it? The bridesmaids for some years now trying to get promoted, but they're still in the division and they're flying high at the moment.
Yeah, they're a good team. It'd be good to play against them. Obviously, you want to play against the best teams, and see, I know them well, and it'd be an enjoyable one to play in, and hopefully get a win.
Will it be weird for you, playing a club you played at, or not?
No, I don't think so. Once you're playing for a team, you're just focusing on getting a win, and that's one especially I'll be focusing on getting a win for.
You're a good pro, as long as someone's paying you.
Can I just add there? We all heard there on that, hopefully, that he did mention about repaying me. So I want to take him up on that if he gets sold to the Premier League.